save my soul.
Happy Hoppy Hour, beer lovers. It's Lindsey back for another episode of the Hoppy Girl Podcast and I Love Colorado Beer production. So today is a non-tasting episode, but before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review, and then follow me on all the socials at Hoppy Girl Podcast. Okay, before we get started, where am I and what am I drinking? Today I'm at Iron Mule Brewing Company. It's located in downtown Castle Rock, Colorado, and I'm drinking the Lawman. It's a Cascadian dark ale. So good. I was feeling a dark ale today. Shout out to head brewer Bill, not only for keeping the good beer flowing, but also for having fun with the brewing process and keeping people coming back for more. Now, what are we talking about today if we aren't tasting? What's arguably the biggest event in the United States? Great American Beer Fest. I know we talked a little bit about GABF when we were going through the episode with the history of Colorado beer, but I wanted to dive into this a little further. I really enjoyed researching all the fun facts, going through old photos. If you haven't checked out their Instagram, it's pretty rad, and then reminiscing about my own time at GABF. For those of you who don't know, Great American Beer Fest is an annual beer festival hosted by the Brewers Association. It's located in downtown Denver and is held in September or October of every year. It is arguably the largest and most prestigious beer festival in the United States. It's voted the number one beer fest in the country by the 10 Best, which is USA Today, listed as one of the 1,000 places you should visit before you die. Pretty cool. In 1982, our friends Charlie Papazian and Charlie Mattson established the first GABF. If you remember, Charlie started the America's Homebrewers Association in 1979. This was after President Carter in 1978 signed the bill permitting homebrewing to get back into the beer market. Charlie's a heavy hitter in the beer world. He truly could take up several episodes of this podcast just going through all of his accolades. Did you know that he actually started National Pie Day? For another podcast. GABF was established in an effort to hold a beer tasting event within the American Homebrewers Association. This inaugural event was held in June of 1982 at the Harvest House in Boulder, and there was 24 breweries. There was 47 beers submitted to taste. 800 people were in attendance, which I feel like is a pretty good turnout for your first go-around at this. At that time, there was no competitive judging competition. That didn't start until 1987. Okay, so in 1984, GABF moved to Denver and has continued to grow. Moving from the Denver Merchandise Mart in 1992, that festival had 150 breweries, beers, and 7,000 in attendance. After that, it moved to Kerrigan Hall, and in the meantime, between the Merchandise Mart, and then now it's held at the Convention Center in downtown Denver. That started in the year 2000. Quick side note, Brewers Association, as it's known today, it was formed in 2005. It was born out of the merger of the American Homebrewers Association, the AHA, and the Brewers Association of America. So the AHA still has its own division within the Brewers Association, so those can sometimes get a little confused. It itself hosts several competitions, conferences, and celebrations. Some notable ones, the National Homebrewers Competition and HomebrewCon, and then Big Brew Day, which is the first Saturday in May, among a bunch of other things. They've got awards and all sorts of fun stuff. All right, we're going to take a quick beer break. Oh, it's good. It's rich. Before we get into the fun, I need to shout out our sister company, I Love Colorado Beer. For my YouTubers out there that can see me, I'm sporting one of my favorite I Love Colorado Beer items, the Beer Koozie hoodie. This is the original design with the Colorado flag, but I think it comes in 4 other designs. Phil? Phil's looking at me.
Nope.
5. So Phil's saying 5. Let's see if I can remember them all. So there's this design, Colorado flag. There is the gray and silver paisley design. There is the black on black design. There is the rainbow flag design. And
I love American beer.
The American beer design. That's right. Okay, so there is 5. Phil's right. Phil's right. Phil's right. Phil's right. Phil's right. Thanks, Phil. So put all those pictures up here for all the listeners and
Y'all
viewers,
heard it.
so
I'm
that
right.
say
Just remember that. I'm right.
you did hear it. He's right sometimes, not all the time, but he's right sometimes. Anyway, put those pictures up so that they can see the different designs. So I know I'm biased, but this hoodie is so soft and so comfortable. And if you know, you truly know. Despite comfort, it's also functional. It has a beer koozie pocket as well as a bottle opener attached. So do you camp? Do you hike? Do you tailgate? Do you generally just go outside and sometimes have a beer in your hand? Sweatshirt's for you. Okay, shameless plug. If you're interested in this item or any of the awesome beer gear that we offer, head to ilovecoloradobeer.com or follow us at ilovecoloradobeer on Instagram and Facebook. Got a wide variety of beer gear. Maybe someday I'll do an episode about all the cool things that we have because I love it all. Again, I'm biased. All right, less plugs, more beer. Cheers. Okay, now that we've all established that Phil's been right at least once in his life, let's dive back into the Beer Fest. Great American Beer Festival is a beer competition meets beer tasting extravaganza. And I mean the word extravaganza. If you haven't seen it, you have to. It's wild. So the beer competition itself is truly one of the largest in the United States. According to the statistics that I could find, but please, please, please send me any information that you can find. I love learning about this stuff and I want to find out more. So the statistics that I could find, over the last few years, there's over 100 different beer style categories with over 9,000 beer entries per year in the past few years. That means that there's hundreds of medals that are awarded each year. Each beer style is evaluated. There's about 250 judges at each GABF. According to their website, they allow around 10% of rookie judges to attend and judge each year. That not only keeps seasoned judges in the mix, but then also brings some newness to the panel and palette and ideas and things like that. They did note, however, that they have a backlog for their judges, and it's about 2 to 3 years deep. So if you're interested in judging, I suggest you get on their list now, and you may be there in 2027. Does that sound right? Yeah, so crazy. Anyway, the awards ceremony for the competition is held on the Saturday morning of the 3-day event. Within the competition, there's also a Brewery of the Year award. To be honest, when looking at information about this, I did not have the time or the brain space to figure out how they calculate points and base that off of barrel content. Sounded like a lot to me. But anyway, not only do they offer medals for beer style, they also offer medals for Breweries of the Year. All right, we're going to do a breakdown of the award criteria just so you can understand what each medal represents. So bronze is defined from their website as a fine example of the style that may vary slightly from style parameters and or have minor deviations in taste, aroma, and appearance. Silver, an excellent beer that may vary slightly from style parameters while maintaining a close adherence to the style and displaying excellent taste, aroma, and appearance. And then gold, a world-class beer that accurately exemplifies the specified style, displaying the proper balance of taste, aroma, and appearance. If you want my opinion, with each category getting a ton of entries every year, getting a bronze, silver, or gold is a huge accomplishment. I've been lucky enough to attend several of these award ceremonies on the Saturday morning session, and it's been really cool to see so many breweries in so many areas of the United States come together for this event. So the room truly is buzzing. There's a ton of creative people in the beer industry. They're nervous about where their beer is going to stack up, but they're also so supportive of each other and celebrating everybody's accomplishments. It's really cool. Plus, they serve beer that morning that we lovingly refer to as
Breakfast beer.
Breakfast beer. So Phil, now that you're interrupting again, can you throw that picture up of me and you at the award ceremony in 2018 when I was pregnant with Bo? That's just kind of a fun memory for me. It's just one picture and it's just, it's just a fun one for me. So that's just for me. No, I did not have a breakfast beer that session. Thank you for asking. But that's just for me. Anyway, If you're not a person directly in the industry or haven't been to any of the award ceremonies, you surely are aware that of the tasting sessions that happen at GABF. So there's 4 of them. There's a Thursday night session, Friday night session, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night session. So the Saturday, they consider that the day session, is the AHA, so the American Homebrewers Association, and the Brewers Association members only session. The fun thing about that one is it happens right after the award ceremony, so people who attend that session get to taste those award-winning beers right after they win their awards. Pretty cool. These sessions are insanity. Again, that's my opinion, but the convention center is huge. It's so big, and it is lined with table after table and booth after booth of beer after beer after beer after beer. So I looked up statistics. Let's see. In 2019, there was over 60,000 people who attended all 4 sessions, and there was 2,300 breweries and 4,000 different beers. So that is a lot of beer in a lot of different sessions from a lot of different breweries. That's crazy. So each session is about 4.5 hours long, if you didn't know, which seems like a lot of time for beer, but when you're in that environment, it is active, it's exciting, it's borders on overwhelming, it is wild. Okay, beer break for Lindsey. Okay. So not only do they have beer tasting, but during each session, there's a lot of other vendors and activities going on. So I listed a few from years past. I'm going to read off of my notes so I don't get any of this wrong, but there's a lot going on at GABF. So there's an area called the Backyard. It's a turf lawn style area with a hangout place where people can sit down, long games, music, food vendors and food trucks, and a lot more. Last year they had a karaoke stage, so that was pretty cool. They have these tap room areas that are kind of spread out among GABF. There's a gluten-free area, there's a non-alcoholic area, there's a National Black Brewers area, which features Black-owned breweries. There is a metal area celebrating past winners of GABF. In years past, they've had a silent disco where people can put on headphones and dance to the music that's just playing in their head. It's pretty silly. They had a scavenger hunt area this year, a costume contest, a bunch of live music, a designated driver lounge, tons of exhibitors. So think anything from clothing, accessories, activities, vacation things, beer spas, airline companies, food, jerky, hot sauce, jewelry, anything you can think of, they're there. Okay, so outside of the competition, the tasting sessions, within the convention center, there's a lot of actually ticketed or like meetup style things going on outside of GABF, but still associated with GABF. Things from dinners with beer pairing, bar-led events, brewery-held events, a lot. I think back in, 2015 or 2016, Phil, you and John were able to attend that 4-course meal where they did that beer pairing. So they did a course with a beer pairing, and super fancy, super cool. They had such a good time. I only got the pictures of it, of course, so that's okay though. They had fun. So lots of good things happening, not only within the convention center, but then also with outside. A lot of breweries holding a lot of things too. Very cool. One of the things that's worth noting for prospective attendees, GABF has a pretty active social media presence, especially leading up towards the festival. Their Instagram, like I said at the top of this episode, is pretty awesome. They have reels from every year. They do a really good job of keeping up with stuff. But not only that, they offer an app, or they have in years past, but they offer an app that has an entire map of every vendor and where everything is located. So for my planners who are very serious about their beer tasting and want to make a plan before they go so they execute the way they need to, this app is for you.
We tried that once.
I tried once. I did try once, and I had a goal of tasting all the black IPAs at that session, I think. Is that right? Yeah. And I was fairly successful, and then obviously got distracted by all of the things. Not drunk, distracted. Not drunk, distracted, but definitely distracted. I think I got distracted with the silent disco, don't you think?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it was the dancing and it's very fun, very fun. Or the merchandise table, because I'm a sucker for a good merch. Anyway, okay, Well, that's it for the info about Great American Beer Fest. So the 2024 festival is being held Thursday, October 10th through Saturday, October 12th. Their website says it's just a little over 200 days away from when I'm recording this. Who knows what it'll be when this episode comes out. For tickets and information, their website is super informative, greatamericanbeerfestival.com. I think we all should go. I think if this podcast gains traction, I'll host a meetup before. What do you think, Phil? You're getting nervous. You're looking at me nervously. I think we'll host a meetup before. I'll let all the viewers vote on a day, but let's get a day on the books and let's all go together. That'd be so fun. That'd be so fun. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I don't think I've mentioned it enough, but all this information is obviously not in my head. So a list of all my resources and anything that I've looked up is in the show notes. Reach out if you want to talk and interact more. I love talking beer. I love talking information. I love finding out more details about what you know that I don't. Connect with me on all the socials, Hoppy Girl Podcast. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and review. Thanks. Cheers.
Save my soul.
It's time for a little something extra. Outtakes.
It's always hard to start. No, we recorded an episode where there was a live DJ.
Yeah.
Sorry to make you cut this, but it's okay. It's okay. Sorry to make you cut this, but it's okay. It's okay. We could do another beer break if you want to. Yes, we're going to do another beer.
We're gonna cut into this, and your beer is gonna be like halfway gone by the time. It's just gonna be like a full glass and then a half glass next frame.
Halfway. All right, you need to calm down.